Hello everyone and welcome along to this week's golf show, and it is a big one because we are here to preview the third major of the year. It is the 121st edition of the US Open. Joining me as always is ex-European Tour pro Simon Dyson. Welcome along, Simon. It's a special week, isn't it? You had the opportunity to play 4 of these and it's always a grind.
Yeah, such a grind. I think I only made one cut out of the 4 attempts in San Francisco Olympic Club. I made the cut, but really tough conditions. They set it up. They obviously want to bring out the best in the players, but it brings out the worst as well. I mean, you will not find a harder golf course than a US Open golf course.
Yeah, that's the key thing to note, isn't it? Because regardless of the course, they change it every year. The USGA always have a way of setting the course up. I was looking through the recent winning scores in the last 20 editions of the US Open. Only 3 times has a winning score been at double digits under par. I mean, last year, Bryson at Wingfoot was the only player to finish under par. At Shinnecock 3 years ago, Koepka won at 1 over par. So depending on the setup, and this week at Torrey Pines, it's usually very difficult. We should expect something similar again, I would imagine.
Yeah, 100%. It's how they set it up. You don't go into this tournament thinking anything else. You know, if the rough's actually not as severe, then it's a bit of a bonus. But I really expect to see tight fairways, bouncy fairways, long rough, small greens, and then a lot of rough around the greens as well, which will really put emphasis on, you know, your up and downs and your short game.
Okay, well, before we talk specifically about this week's venue at Torrey Pines, let's have a look at the odds. And we are 10 places each way here at Betfred.com. John Rahm is the favourite at 10-1, a winner here in the Farmers Insurance Open before. We've got a few former winners of the US Open next: Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Jordan Spieth, and defending champion Bryson DeChambeau. And then it's Zander Schuflay and Rory McIlroy at 16-1. Morikawa and Thomas are at 18s. Patrick Cantlay is at 22-1. And then it's bigger, the rest 25-1 bar those. But it's just so competitive, isn't it? At the top of the game, you can pick out any of those and make a really good case for him, Simon.
You can. You know, they're all winners. They've all won big events. Some of them won majors. Some have won US Opens. You know, you could literally stick a pin. You know, I think it would be really hard to just go with one player this week. I think you'd need to pick 3 or 4 to really kind of feel like you're getting your money's worth. One player, I mean, you know, like we were talking about these golf courses, they can be out of it in 9 holes. You know, it's as simple as that. They could be 6 over for 9 holes and not actually have done much wrong. And then they're out of the tournament, you know. So, yeah, you can see why it's so spread across the field, because there's so many good players up there now.
Okay, well, we'll let you have a few this week because we are 10 places each way, as I say, at Betfred.com. So even a top 10 finish will get you a nice return. Right, let's have a look at this year's course then, Simon. It is, of course, Torrey Pines in San Diego on the coast in California. Now, the only time it's hosted a major before was back in 2008, the US Open, when Tiger Woods famously won over Rocco Mediate in that 91st hole sudden death playoff after the 18 holes on the Monday. And that was, of course, after that iconic putt on the 72nd, Simon, all whilst playing with a stress fracture and a torn ACL, which he got operated on the day after. But that putt in particular will live on in history forever, won't it?
It will. I mean, the speed and direction of it probably shouldn't have gone in. But we spoke about this before, just the will to want it to go in. It just literally dived down the hole. I actually thought Westwood would have won that one. He finished a shot behind. He played some beautiful golf, just came up short. And, you know, but yeah, we all remember that putt. I think even Rocco Mediate knew he was going to hole it. We all knew he was going to hole it, even on those greens. So it was a great finish. And then obviously they played the next day and he was triumphant.
Yeah, it was back when Tiger Woods made every single putt that he needed to make, didn't he? And it's incredible that he would then go on and wait another 11 years before winning his next major at the Masters. Nobody would have thought that.
No, they wouldn't. Not when he was on the roll that he was on. I saw a stat about how many tournaments he'd won in relation to how many he'd played in, and it was frightening. It was literally 2-1. Might even have been better than every 2 tournaments he won one leading up to that tournament. But yeah, he obviously went away, got his operation, and then the recovery back was a long one. But, you know, we saw him win again in the Masters.
Well, going back to Torrey, that was the only major that they played on this course before. And if we look at the 72-hole score for Rocco Mediate and Tiger Woods, that was just at 1 under par. Lee Westwood, as you mentioned, a shot back at level par, and the rest are over par. So it certainly played tough that week. We have got some more form to go off. The Farmers Insurance Open on the PGA Tour every year. They host that regular event on the North and the South course. It'll just be the South course this week. And the setup isn't as tough as it year to year in that event, Simon, but I think some people will still find some value in that form.
Absolutely. You're going to look at guys who've done well around there. Obviously, it's going to be much of a different setup. The rough's going to be a lot more severe. The fairways will be a lot tighter. But again, we look at course form guide, and it proves crucial in who we're looking at, who are going to do well, and it's proven that in the last 5 or 6 weeks with who we've picked. Rahm, last week. And then we have McIlroy, so it still will prove crucial, and I hope it does, because the 3 and 4 have done well on there.
Okay, and this week we're playing it as a par 72 on the South course at around 7,685 yards. And as we touched upon earlier, Simon, I imagine we should expect a very similar USGA setup this week.
Yeah, I don't think the score will be very high at all. You're going to need so much patience around the course like this week. You always do. One bit of advice I remember Pete Cowan always used to say to me in the US Open, just always try and take the double bogey out of play. He said, the bogey, yeah, you can claw that back. He went, but the double bogey, to have to make 2 birdies to claw that double back is really difficult. So he always said, just play smart golf. Always try and eliminate the double bogey, and it was some good advice. I didn't use it as well as I should probably, but it's so true. It is so true around a course like that.
And for those new to the sport and maybe to the USGA and how they set courses up, just tell us exactly what they tend to do year to year at the US Open.
I mean, they normally bring the fairways in a good 5 yards either side. You're looking at probably a 25, 28 yard wide fairway, which is, you get on some fairways and the 45 yards wide. So 25 to 28 yards isn't very deep. They normally layer the rough, so you'll have a first cut, which is probably all going against you. So sometimes you're actually better off going in the second cut that's actually going with you. And then the thick stuff. I remember my first US Open. And I was playing the practice round, and they were actually raking the rough against, so it literally just stood up straight. And it was probably 5 inches deep, 6 inches deep, but it literally nestled right at the bottom because there was no leverage in the grass to hold the ball up. So that's the type of thing they do. They'll get the greens firm and fast, and then they'll do the same around the greens. Grow the rough up. It'll be thick. You'll have literally not much control out of it like you normally do. So it's a real brutal test, to be fair.
And what sort of characteristics are you looking for this week? I imagine more so than just technical, it's about mental as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. Acceptance around the course like this is absolutely key. And again, the 4 guys I've gone with, their attitude is just, all the top boys are. You see it week in, week out. But the 4 guys I've gone with have got great attitudes. Going to have to be good off the tee. Your approach play is going to have to be good. Your scrambling is going to have to be good, and your putting is going to have to be good. It's literally everything.
And if we look back at the recent winners of the US Open from course to course, it's a lot of big hitters of late, isn't it? Bryson DeChambeau, of course, at Wingfoot, he proved that it doesn't matter if you go in the rough. If you've got a wedge out of it, then sometimes you're better off. We saw Gary Woodland before that at Pebble, Brooks Koepka going back-to-back, Dustin Johnson as well. All 5 of those recent winners, all very long off the tee, and perhaps even it's better, as I say, to be a bit wayward as long as you're further down nowadays.
Yeah, we saw that last year, didn't we, with Bryson? Everybody was saying, he won't out-muscle this course, and he did. He did, like you say, he was the only one to finish under par. He finished 6th under par. So that's kind of, whether they maybe certain areas in the rough a bit further up grow it even more, then who knows? But they will be wanting to eliminate that aspect. of what Bryson did last year, I'm sure. So it's going to be really interesting tournament to watch.
And I guess the difference with Torrey Pines compared to Wingfoot is that we've got quite a lot of water, haven't we, around the greens as well. So it's not a simple case of just muscling your way and running it up to the green. There is danger. So being in the fairway will definitely be a benefit, of course, if you're long as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you always want to hit off the fairways. The greens will be firm. They were, you know, when Tiger won it, not much spin. I mean, the spin Tiger got out of the rough for his third shot on the 72nd hole of, you know, is phenomenal, really. You know, you're only looking at spin like that off fairways, but yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It's a great tournament to watch. I mean, loads of people who I speak to, loads of amateurs, they love watching it because they get to see the pros struggle. You know, are you one of those as well? Yeah, I like to see the pros flourish and perform, but I can understand, you know, seeing somebody struggle.
Yeah,
like somebody's day, you know.
I'm one of those, those jealous people that likes to see you guys tough it out once in a while, because we can only dream of playing the way that you do week to week. So it should be interesting, but it certainly brings out the mental element, which I think is the most fascinating part of the sport in golf. Being able to keep your composure, keep your patience, and being able to grind it out this week more than ever does that.
Yeah, and I think that's where the top boys absolutely flourish. You know, they all hit it good. You know, you give an 8-iron to a pro on a Euro Pro event, he knows he can hit it close. But when it really comes down to it in the nitty gritty, has he got it upstairs? And that's what these top boys have got. They've got it in abundance, and that's why they're where they are.
Okay, well, with that in mind, let's get to your picks. Don't forget, we are 10 places each way at betfred.com this week. So you only need to get a top 10 to get an each way payout. Fingers crossed we can get a winner, though. You've already mentioned you're going to go for 4 this week. So who's the first?
Well, my first is the favourite. I'm going to go Jon Rahm. I just think he's got a little score to settle. He wants that first major. He's playing great. His form's great. His form on tough courses is really good. You know, he won round here on this course in 2017. He was runner-up last year to Leitchman. I just don't know how you can't back him, really. Simple as that.
Well, he's coming off what should have been a win at the Memorial. He was 6 clear, wasn't he, going into the final day on a tough course there. And as you mentioned, he's got a score to settle. He's passed his COVID test now. He'll be hell-bent, coming back to a course he's played on before, to win again, if you like, and make sure he gets his first major here.
And he's got every attribute to win the major. He's got it all. Long and straight off the tee, good approach play. Everyone kind of moans about the attitude side, the fire, you know, getting angry. I like that. It proves he's a winner. It proves he wants to win. And I just like how he goes about his stuff. And yeah, he's a popular player for me. And you know, we're still waiting on that first major. He's got plenty of time to get it, but this course kind of suits what he's capable of.
Okay, Jon Rahm, the first pick for you. Who's the next?
I'm going to go Zander Schuflay. Again, great all-round player. His attitude is phenomenal. The last 3 of my players, it's their attitude, you know, just kind of gets on with it. Brilliant demeanour. Finished second here this year in the Farmers. And he's not finished outside the top 6 in the last 4 US Opens, which straight away, red lights flashing, he can perform in a US Open. He's got it all. You know, he's done it consistently for the last 4 years. So, again, long and straight off the tee, just great all-round player.
And they're the only 4 US Opens he's played in. He's shown that he absolutely loves the setup. He loves the grind.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? To finish second here this year, he knows he can play around this course as well. So why not?
Yeah, he's a bit of a Brooks Koepka light, isn't he, when it comes to the majors and the US Open. Who's the next player for you then? We've got 2 already.
So I'm going to go, again, this is more course form, playing this course. I'm going to go Mark Leitchman. He won it last year, won the Farmers last year. So straight away, good positive memories. He was runner-up in 2014. We know he can perform in majors. He's consistently up there for the first couple of days. Sometimes hangs around, sometimes falls away, but playing in a major doesn't faze him. And again, all-round play. I tipped him with Cameron Scott a few months ago. Just really good all-round player, great attitude as well. And you need that on a course like this, in a tournament like this.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's played very well in the majors. He was 5th at the Masters this season as well, wasn't he? He's just a bit inconsistent week to week. That's why he's not a top 10 player in the world or going off at shorter prices in these events. But any week in particular, he can certainly come to the fore and contend.
He can. And you know what? Sometimes it's not bad to be like that. You get more wins by doing that. Been a bit off a couple of weeks and then really on form another week. But I like how he goes about his stuff. I really do. Comes across a nice lad. And again, you look at every aspect of his game. He's a proven winner. He's a proven contender in majors. There's nothing really that flags that says he shouldn't do well.
Okay, and who completes the team this week?
I'm going to go Morikawa. He's not played around this course that much, but he's had 2 top 8s in his last 3 weeks. He's coming into a bit of form. And the course, really long and straight, fantastic approach player. So if he can get it in the fairways, he's going to give himself quite a few birdie attempts. And again, I've spoken about attitude with the other players. His is probably as good as anybody's, and he's a proven major winner. We've only got 1 major winner in my 4 picks, but it's so important to have won that first major. Obviously, he won the PGA, quite a bit different, but just really good all-round player again. You've got to look for somebody who's got everything. Nothing can be lacking this week at all. Everything has to be on point, and he's got it all.
Yeah, we saw him at the Memorial, didn't we, last time out, losing in a playoff a couple of weeks ago. He putted well that week. That's the key for him, isn't it? Because you mentioned the approach play. I think he's gaining half a shot on everybody in the world at the moment on tour, which is an incredible stat. So if he has a good putting week, he'll probably contend again.
Well, that's it. Tee to green. If he performs how he should, tee to green, he's going to be there. He's going to be there or thereabouts. He's going to hold putts. He's going to miss some. But if he performs tee to green how he can, he's going to give himself more chances than the rest of the field, probably. So, and he only has to start rolling in a few, and he'll be contending. Okay,
who's the best bet out of the 4 then, Simon?
I think it's got to be Jon Rahm. I know his favourite, but plays tough golf courses so well. And, he's looking for that first major. He will win one. And this course, like I said about this course, kind of been totally set up for him and how he plays. It's perfect. It ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, he'd be absolutely desperate, won't he, after the perceived injustice of not being able to go on and win at the Memorial a couple of weeks ago. Was there anybody that came close? I know you picked up 4. Anyone who's really close to being selected as well?
No, not really. Not really. Koepka, having done well, your man, having done well, in the last major, he'll be wanting to go that one better. Koepka was pretty close. But that was about it. Bryson, after what he did last year, I thought, can he do it again this year? But I think they'll kind of be safeguarding against that with how they set the course up. So yeah, they were the 4 that, not necessarily to win. I mean, Rahm, I'm expecting to win, but the others just to be placed and probably contend come Sunday afternoon.
Okay, I was going to put one up myself, and I was going to say, can you guess who it was? But yes, it was Brooks Koepka, who I think it's just so hard to ignore this week. He said last week he just wasn't interested in playing. He's just basically getting out there to make sure he was warmed up for the majors. And he's a major machine, isn't he? I was looking at his last 20 majors, Simon. He's finished in the top 10 in 13 of the last 20.
Wow.
Of course, he's got this incredible US Open record, 2 wins and a second in his last 3 US Opens. He was second at the USPGA, the last major we had. It's just about the knee, isn't it? Fingers crossed the knee is okay. Fingers crossed he gets paired with Bryson this week. That's what everyone wants to see. Yeah. But yeah, he's a must bet for me this week.
Yeah, he is. And you know what? When you say it out loud and his achievements and what he's done in this tournament and in majors, it's a phenomenal record and probably as good as anybody else in the world. So how could you overlook him?
Okay, well, as a show together, we'll put him up as well. I'll go with Koepka this week, and yeah, what about that pairing of Bryson? That would be brilliant, wouldn't it, if we finally got that, because they've not done it for years.
They haven't done it for years, and I can't see it myself. I think they'll shy away from that one, if I'm honest. I think, I'm not sure who it'd affect the most, actually. You know, if they actually got paired together, they're both very mentally strong. They'll probably just get on with it, shake hands at the end, and that is it. Be done and dusted. So maybe they should do it and get it out the way of.
It might be a bit of an anticlimax, mightn't it, if they're actually together? Okay, well, I'd like to see it nonetheless. Maybe we'll get it this week. We're recording this early on Monday morning, but we shall see. Right, good luck with your selection, Simon. It's a special week, isn't it? Looking forward to watching that. And the Euros, of course, Royal Ascot. It's a cracking week.
Yeah, great week for sport. I love it when you come to summertime, you get like Ascot, Wimbledon, big football tournaments, big golf tournaments. It's great.
Yeah, cannot wait for it. Thank you for watching, everybody at home. Best of luck with your selections. Don't forget to get to Betfred.com, where we are 10 places this week each way on the US Open. It starts on Thursday afternoon, live on Sky Sports. I'll be betting in play on all 4 days. Good luck to Simon. Good luck to you. And we'll be back next week to recap it all once again.